Hello, everyone. Welcome to the LW Latchbar podcast. And thank you very much for attending. This is all about the need for exercising and dieting because we have put ourselves in a bad position and we need to do something about it. So, we're going to get started, but first I need you to know that I am not a doctor. I have experiences of life, and I feel that I have some advice that I can help you with. So you can verify my information. I do research to come up with the right answers, and I practice what I preach. So you are looking at an individual that is over 70 years old and someone who just loves to exercise. I am not a bodybuilder at all, but I am the patent owner and the designer of the Latchbar exercise system. So I do know something about exercising. And I just happen to have two prosthetic hips that you may not be aware of. So we can progress no matter who we are, no matter what handicap conditions that we have. We need to have discipline, and that'll take you a long way. How did you get in the condition that you are in? That is what we are discussing, and what do we need to do about it? We discuss this in almost every podcast that we have a discussion. So we all know about our metabolism, and we know we need to do something about it. So first and foremost, we need to cut out our bad habits, and we need to get on board with doing the right thing. Do it for your body. If you don't want to do it for your body, do it for one of your loved ones that might want to see you stick around a little bit longer, especially if they don't have an insurance policy on you, because that might cost them. So let's try and practice good health. How do you do it? You start with your eating habits, and then you add exercise into it. Now, we should all know how you got in the condition that you're in now. How many pounds are you overweight? 25? That's a joke, huh? 50? That's probably another laugh. Most of us are probably between 50 to 100 pounds overweight. And that's quite a bit. And it happened over a period of time. You didn't even realize that it happened to you. Before you know it, you were obese. So now that you realize that you are obese and you want to do something about it, then you need to start doing something about it. Because just talking about it is not going to get you anywhere. So let's do something about it. Let's lay it out on the table. First of all, let's go to the doctor and make sure that you're in good enough shape, physical condition enough to go through any exercise routine, because if you don't, there could be consequences. You don't want these consequences. They could be detrimental. So let's go to the doctor and get an approval of what you're about to do. So first you have to, like I always say, it starts at your table, making sure that you are not overeating any longer, because that's how you got this way. You were overeating, and you continue to overeat. And if you want to change anything, you'll have to change your eating habit. And you know that is going to be very difficult to do, because you're going to have to discipline yourself. Not like you disciplined your children, you're going to have to discipline yourself. You're going to have to learn the do's and don'ts of how to get yourself back into good physical condition. It all starts with you. You can't blame it on anyone else. You are responsible for all of those late night snacks, all that binge eating that you were doing, all that going out eating that you thought was good for you and that you didn't pay attention to while you were doing it. But now that you've had a few health scares, now you want to pay some attention to what you've been doing to yourself. You know, it's going to take a lot of effort to undo what you did. But you can do it if you put your mind to it and if you discipline yourself once again to do what needs to be done. And it doesn't come in a bottle. That bottle might be part of what got you where you are now. That's right. Because drinking is just as bad for you. Now, I know all of you would like to continue with your bad habits that you had as you were growing up, but things aren't the same anymore. So you have to change with time. Time, that means your time. And if you don't change with your time, then things are going to continue to get worse. You notice how you're not able to do the things that you were able to do when you were much younger? Because that comes with time. No longer are you able to run up those set of stairs. No longer are you able to get out of that reclining chair as easy as you were before when you were much younger. Now these things become a struggle. You don't want to do them anymore. You think that sitting in that chair and drinking those beers is okay to do? Those hangovers even get worse as you get older. Those pounds accumulate as you've gotten older. They didn't accumulate as they did when you were much younger. And now you're at risk of bad health and you want to do something about it. So what are you doing? Well, if you don't start doing something about it, you're about to lose your livelihood, let alone your life. Your old lady don't want you no more because you're too big. That's right. Or your old man don't want you anymore because you're too big, depending on which side of the fence that you're on, you know? Because it happens to women just as much as it happens to men. That's right. So you need to address it. Start doing something about it, because that high blood pressure could lead you into a heart attack. That high blood pressure could lead you into heart disease. That high blood pressure could lead you into gallbladder disease. All of that drinking that you're doing could make your liver dysfunction. That's right. All of these different things we cause to ourselves. The good thing about it, if you catch it in time, you can do something about it. Even the smoking habits. I'm not suggesting that you can clear your lungs, but if you catch it in time, you're not going to die from it. Not immediately. So you need to do something about your bad habits if you want to start generating good health. So eating can be just as detrimental as all these other bad things too. Look at what it does to your body. It made that beautiful body that you once had when you were very young, that you thought you were going to keep. Now, we don't even recognize you anymore. Does that sound familiar? It happens to a lot of us. That's right. You don't have to live with it though. You can address it. And you need to address it before it's too late. If you don't do anything about it, it just gets worse. So it's your choice. You can start eating in proportions, which we call watching your diet. You can cut out all of that snacking because it's gotten to the point that it might be causing a lot of things you're not looking forward to. One of those things, heart disease. Another one of those things, cancer. That's right. With all this eating disorder that we do, we can cause cancer in our digestive system because you're overloading the system and you need to do something about it. If you continue down the road that you're going down, the Grim Reaper is going to come and get you. He's waiting for us all. So you can either do something about it to make yourself feel better with the time that you have left, or you can drown in your sorrows. No one else can do anything about it but you. So let's not drown in your sorrows if you can do something about it. That doesn't make sense. There's enough of us that have gone down that road, and we always try and blame it on something else. Well, now it's your turn. We need to start eating proportionately. We need to cut out the snacks, the binge eating, and start eating for your health. Because if you don't, God help you, it's not going to get any better. So set yourself up a regimen. Go to the doctor, set yourself up a regimen so that you can try and turn the hands of time back as best as you possibly can. We know literally we can't do that, but you can make yourself feel an awful lot better than what you feel now. You can make it so that you can get up out of that reclining chair. You can make it so that you can get off the sofa without any assistance. Because right now you almost need assistance. You can make it so that you can walk up and down those stairs without being out of breath once you get to the top. You can still do that if you put an effort into it. Diet and exercise. Now, I don't mean go out and exercise yourself to death. I don't mean go out and try and do what you used to do as you were a kid or much younger, because let's face it, you just can't do that anymore. None of us can. So we need to do what we can do in the mannerism that we can do it. I had a friend of mine tell me just the other day that he needs to talk to me. He's 54 years old, and he told me that weights hurt. And I know that weights hurt. I'm not a weightlifter, but I know the pain that you can go through as you continue to try and do what you were doing when you were a kid. You're not a kid anymore. That's why you might have to make adjustments. We have to make adjustments so that we can make ourselves healthy again without all the pain that you endured, that you were able to endure when you were much younger. You can't endure that type of pain anymore. That's all it is to it. We have to face the facts, and the facts are right in front of us. That's right, and we need to do something so that we can be happy, so that we can feel good, so that you don't get kicked to the curb, because these things happen. So let's start getting busy. Let's start working out in the mannerism that you can do it. And let's stop eating like it's going out of style, because it's not going anywhere. Let's learn to eat in proportions, and let's learn to eat only what you need to eat. If you don't know what that is, your body tells you. Don't eat that whole plate of food. Eat half the plate of food. And some of you may need to eat less than that. You don't need to eat 3 times a day. especially the older you get, the less you need to eat because your metabolism is going to go slower and slower and slower. Unless you're doing something about it to speed up your metabolism and eating healthy, you're going to cause healthy issues as we age. So let's answer the bell. Let's listen to what our body is trying to tell us. And let's do something about it and stop trying to act like we're 25 years old again. Because we're not. And we never will be. You can check out my workouts to assist you with your exercise on YouTube. My YouTube channel is at the Latchbar. Subscribe. It's free. And it can help you out. And let me remind you that water is your best friend. As you cut back on your diet, add more water. It'll help flush your system. It'll help, additionally, remove the appetite or the urge to eat all the time, because we want to eat all the time. And I know it's going to make you urinate, but that's part of the game. That's how you lose weight, through urination. That's right. It doesn't come out the other way. You lose it because it's water weight. So it comes out like that. Let's have a drink of water. And what else should we do? I want to say thank you all very much for joining in on the Latchbar podcast. Before I have a drink, I will turn the podcast off so that you don't have to watch me drink my good tasting water. Thank you all very much. And remember, diet is very important to your well-being. Don't eat yourself to death. That's what we're doing. America is the most obese country in the world. Have a good night. Thank you all very much.